Alright guys, no dilly-dallying this time. Yeah, it fucking sucked. The Nun 2 was bad. It was stinky. It was a stinky pile of shit. It was bad, and my dad and I saw it a couple days ago. We expected it to be bad. We were happy that it was bad because it was the type of bad movie that's hilariously like it's a fun bad movie. And we had fun watching it. It was entertaining. It was so goddamn stupid the whole way through. And sure, I've heard a couple other people say that it's boring, which, yes, in some scenes it's very boring and it's also a very predictable movie, but it does its own thing with these horror cliches that just make it 10 times more hilarious than it should be. So first off, I'm actually gonna say some unironically good things about this movie, which I didn't expect to today. Number one would be the cinematography. The cinematography, like in a lot of the other Conjuring movies, is really unique and it's really well done, especially with the shots with the nun in it. There's this shot at around the end of the film in the third act where the background's super light and the nun's silhouette is super dark, and it's a really cool shot. However, it's really, really bright, and I had to squint in order to properly look at the film without going blind, which might have been intentional. It also might have been really just unintentional and like a poor decision to make. But even then, I think it's like supposed to be an overwhelming shot in the movie. So yeah, it's a pretty neat shot. I liked it. However, it was way too bright. There's also a really neat shot in the film where it zooms into the nun and the lighting completely changes from normal to red lighting, which I really like it when films play with lighting. There were also a couple scenes that were actually pretty good. There's the opening scene, which was pretty neat. It was with a priest and an altar boy. The altar boy is cleaning around the church. He goes down into a cellar and starts playing with this basketball. And it rolls into the hallway, rolls out of the hallway. You get the whole shtick. It's a horror trope. This movie actually does it pretty well. When the kid goes back up to the main part of the church, the priest gets lifted up in the air and he gets set on fire. However, the fire looks like a PlayStation game, so it takes you out of the scene immediately and breaks all the immersion. There's another scene, which is in the trailer of the film, where the main character runs to a magazine stand and all the pages start flipping, and it eventually creates the shape of the nun with the magazine pages, and then the nun jumps out and jump scares the audience. Ooh! Ah! And that's one of the two jump scares that got me. So yeah, even though I expected it and I saw it in the trailer a million times, it actually got me. Which, bravo, you did it. You scared me. Good job. Now, to get into the bad things about the movie, which arguably are the best things about the movie. The tropes, the cliches, they're everywhere. This is one of the most predictable, trope-filled horror movies I've ever seen, especially in the past couple years, and that's saying something. The tropes are fucking everywhere. It's been done to death before. However, The Nun does it a new way. It takes a spin at it, and it makes it funny. It makes it really, really funny, especially towards the third act, which I want to talk about. So let me talk about Act 3, easily my favorite part of the film. I'm going to be getting into spoiler territory, but I don't think you guys are going to care. So basically, let me give you guys some context to Act 3. Not like you need it or anything, because it's the most predictable horror movie out there. So basically, earlier, it takes place in a boarding school, by the way. Earlier in the film, these girls go into this like forbidden basement area, and there's this stained glass image, and there's a goat in the center of the image, and the sun shines through it, which makes the goat's eyes red. And they're like, oh my god, it's the devil, because goat with red eyes equals the devil. Not like those exist or anything. So in the third act, they go down in the basement again. They notice that the goat is gone for the picture. And then, I shit you not, this evil, pissed off goat man crawls out of the darkness and he's all like, "Argh!" So yeah, that not only made my dad and I laugh really hard, but A couple other people in the theater were audibly chuckling as well during that scene. And this is the best part of the movie, by far, the best part of the film. I just also wanted to mention the nun's horrible CGI venom teeth because they look like shit. I don't know how the crew or the producers of this film ended up thinking that this would scare people because it didn't. In fact, the majority of the theater left talking about how stupid it was. So, yeah, I'm gonna give The Nun 2 a 4.5 out of 10, mainly because it's entertainingly bad, which brings it up. But there's actually some pretty good things about this movie as well. That's about it, Slimes.